Well, as the nation's capital prepares to honor former President Jimmy Carter, we're going to dig a little bit deeper into one of those legacies, and that was his unique perspective on the environment. Jeff Goodell joins me now. He's a climate reporter for Rolling Stone, and he is also the author of the New York Times best-selling book, The Heat Will Kill You First. So thank you so much for joining us, Jeff. You recently wrote a piece in Rolling Stone magazine calling Carter America's greatest environmental president. Given some of the climate policy that we've seen in recent years, how does Carter stand out?
Well, I think, Carter was really important because he was the first American president to really kind of grapple with our addiction and dangerous relationship with fossil fuels, something that is very much in the forefront of climate and energy policy today. Carter didn't come to it directly. He came to it, through the energy crisis of the 1970s, the revolution in Iran and the Arab oil embargo that caused gas prices to skyrocket in the United States. And it really put him in the position of sort of rethinking what the path forward is for America with our energy sources. And this was a big changing of the course in America. No president had ever kind of done this sort of holistic thinking about where America gets our energy and what the future of American energy would look like.
And one of the things that's sort of a trivia question, who was the first American president to install solar panels on the White House? The answer, of course, Jimmy Carter. Talk to us a little bit more about how unique that was to have done at that time, as compared to now where lots of people have solar panels on their homes, and some of the other environmental policies, and were they all strictly energy driven and as a response to the energy crisis?
Yeah. So first of all, those panels that he put on the White House, which many people I think have seen the photo of him standing there with these solar panels on the rooftop of the White House. Those were for heating hot water, which are a little bit different than the solar panels that we see today, which are for generating electricity. But nevertheless, they were a huge revolution at the time because it really represented the idea that you didn't have to depend on big power companies and big oil and gas companies to deliver energy to you. You could do it yourself. Remember, this was the era of the beginning of the personal computer and things like that. And so it was really symbolic in kind of taking energy back and thinking about it differently and thinking about ways that you can generate it and use it. But he did a lot of other things too. I mean, first of all, he was the first president to really look seriously at the impact of climate change on America. He funded a major study from the National Academy of Sciences looking at that. He really importantly deregulated the electric power industry, which broke up these ancient monoliths that had been around since the 19th century and really kicked off the kind of renewable energy and clean energy boom that we're seeing today, allowing power companies to innovate in all kinds of new ways. And the last thing he did was, he did many things, but one of the last other significant things he did was traditional kind of conservation. He set aside 152 million acres in Alaska, for example, helping to push through legislation that protected an area the size of California and Oregon put together.
All right, Jeff Goodell, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.